Good day, students. Now we're going to look at solution to number 5, multiple choice, the last of 5, from sample quiz in chapter 3. That's book 2 in ma1026, and it's on page 39. Okay, so let's have a look at number 5. It's asking us to simplify completely, and it gives us a rational expression: 9 minus y squared all over y squared plus y minus 12. And simplifying in this type of context usually means we're going to factor first, then cancel any like factors or any like terms. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's look at the numerator first. 9 minus y squared. Now hopefully, you recognize that as the difference of two squares, right? Difference meaning subtract, perfect square here and a perfect square here. And the difference of two squares factors 2. This will factor to 3 and 3, y and y, plus in one, minus in the other. Right? Now you're probably used to seeing it with the squared term first, like x squared minus 4, right? X minus 2, x plus 2. Or 9x squared minus 16, which will be 3x minus 4 times 3x plus 4. All examples of the difference of two squares. However, this one has the variable in the opposite position, right? The variable's on the end of the binomial, not in the beginning. So, but still works. So we got the number first and then the variable second. So those are the factors for that. So let's write them up here. So we got 3 plus y times 3 minus y. And again, anytime you're factoring, you want to check it, you can multiply it out, right? Like I could multiply this now. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times minus 3, or minus y is minus 3y. Y times 3 is plus 3y. And y times negative y is minus y squared. The middle terms will cancel. So you can check any factoring like that, right? So the factors for 9 minus y squared, 3 minus y, 3 minus y. Now, what are the factors for the other? Okay, the other, in this case, trinomial, right? So let's look at the denominator now. Y squared plus y minus 12. Now, I call this a simple trinomial because the coefficient of the squared term is 1. Okay, and this will factor 2, like what two numbers will multiply, right? What two numbers will multiply to give you negative 12, but add to give you plus 1. Right? Now where does the negative 12 come from? It's this number here times the last, a times c. So 1 times negative 12 is where I get the product. Where does the sum come from? The sum comes from the coefficient of the middle term, right? Which in this case is plus 1. And those numbers are negative 4, negative 3, and positive 4. Let's double check. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. That works. Negative 3 plus 4 is positive 1. So they both work. Alright? So therefore, we know our factors are, in this case, y plus 4, y minus 3. And either or the other order. You could write it as y minus 3, y plus 4. That makes no difference. Okay? So either or will work perfectly. Now, so let's put that back up in our equation and see what we have here. So we got, let me get my pen working. We got y plus 4 times y minus 3. Now the way it stands now, it looks like nothing cancels, right? However, there is a situation where negative 1 becomes a factor. Here's what I mean. If I had x subtract 5 over 5 subtract x, okay, that's equal to negative 1. And you can just cancel them and put in negative 1 if you want. Simple as that. Now, why does that work? Well, let's just leave the top alone. I'm going to factor negative 1 out of the bottom. Now, factoring negative 1 changes the signs to negative 5 plus x. Okay? So I'll leave the top alone again, leave the negative 1 outside, but now I'm going to reverse the order here and put the positive number in front. Now look what I have. Exact same binomials on top and bottom. So this binomial will cancel with that one, leaving you with 1 over negative 1, which is negative 1. Now when you recognize that, you don't have to do all those steps. Okay, all you need to do is be able to recognize when a factor cancels with another factor to give you negative 1. Okay, so, and here are some more quick examples. Alright, let's say I had 3x minus 2, then in order to cancel it would have to be 2 minus 3x. Just cancel them and put down negative 1. Right? 10x minus 7 would have to be 7 minus 10x. Right? They will equal negative 1. So what's the pattern? So just think of the pattern now. Anytime you have a minus b over b minus a, that equals negative 1. So let's write that little fact up here. A minus b over b minus a always equals negative 1. So that's a good little fact to have. Saves you a bit of time factoring out to negative 1 and so on. Alright, so therefore I can do this now. I see, what do you see there now in their factors, right? I see y minus 3 on bottom and a 3 minus y on top. That cancels to give you negative 1. So it's negative outside of 3 plus y, or you can put the 1 there if you want, or you can just put the negative sign, okay, all over y plus 4. Now there's our answer. Let's look for that in our choices. Do we have that? Alright, y plus 4 is definitely the denominator, so that's out. We have a negative sign, so it can't be that one. Now, so it's either B or D. However, nothing matches perfectly. But if I multiplied this negative, or distributed that negative sign in, what would happen? I would get negative 3 subtract y all over y plus 4. And if I rearranged it, put the y term in front, or the y in front of the 3, right, or rearrange the numerator, I would get this. So it's a bit of a tricky question, but your final answer is right here. Okay, which of course is B. So the answer to this one is B.